Okay, guys, so I'm going to show you or put in the description the short video from the young man who was a model for Abercrombie and Fitch, and the CEO of that company is involved with the Epstein situation, just like all four of these people are involved. Um, what's her name? Ferguson, Sarah, the one with the red hair. She considered Epstein her like a brother to her, which is creepy when you find out, and everybody knows by now, the absolute filth that he's been involved with. These people on the screen have been involved with. I don't want you to confuse the fact that people knew Epstein and were automatically pedophiles, because that is not true. Just because you know a bad person, that doesn't mean that you are automatically doing the same dirt that this person does. However, if you're tight with them and you find out what they're doing and you're still tight with them, well, obviously that's a different story, right? Obviously. So people are just kind of making everybody who's ever laid eyes on him, took a picture with him, shook his hand, had lunch with him, they're automatically throwing that person in a pedophile basket, and they may not deserve to be there. How many times have I been in a relationship with someone who's a snake? I'm not a snake. How many times have I had fake friends who are bad people, but we were friends for years? I knew they were off, but I didn't know exactly how off they were until, as time goes on, they get worse and worse. As they get older, they get worse and worse and worse, and absolutely worse. So, yeah, don't automatically make someone victim, not a victim, but a perpetrator just because they happen to know a perpetrator. So this model is talking about mm, how it's men and boys that are also victims. Men and boys who are also victims. There have been, there's evidence of cannibalism. There's evidence of infants being cannibalized. There's companies that are well known that are a front for trafficking, like I said, Abercrombie and Fitch, Victoria's Secret, Balenciaga. I don't know the names of all the companies, but there's been, women that were drugged. And one girl in particular, she woke up in a lab. There are doctors that were on Epstein's payroll and doing things with the women. Okay. This goes so deep and so dark. And like this model said, this has been going on for a long time. So men are not all men, so don't go there with me. But men are not only dangerous to women and children, but they're also dangerous to other men, and they're also dangerous to boys and girls. Boys, girls, men, women, it don't matter who you are. As long as you can be violated, you fair game. This, like the model said, has been going on for a very long time. And what I find super alarming is the fact that these people have kids. And that's what you're doing to kids? You're violating them, murdering them, and other things. And if you look, here's another thing. If you look on Google and you put in human trafficking, Epstein files, it will tell you that those are rumors. Google will lie their fucking ass off. It depends on what you're looking up. They will automatically discredit anything that was proven to be factual. There's food names that are actually codes, special codes for the horrific things that these people were doing. Okay? Human meat was called jerky. Okay? I I I I just don't know. It, it's just disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. And the information is coming out so fast. And a lot of people keep saying this, and I have to explain it, apparently. Apparently, I have to explain it, so I will. We need to be more angry. These people need to go down. What they're doing is horrific. And why aren't they in jail? Okay, calm down. You know why they're not in jail. You know. You know why. When you have money and you have power and you have prestige, you don't suffer. You can break the law legally because you've got the money to wiggle yourself out of it. You will not even go to jail. You're not going to be arrested even. Now, Andrew was arrested, but he wasn't arrested here. He was arrested over there. And that could be for show because he had a lot of prestige too. It is well known, not just in America, but it's well known around the world. When you have tons of money and you're famous and you have prestige and you have power, usually you're not going to be touched no matter what you do. Even when investigators know that you did some dirty, underhanded shit. Look at, and aside from Epstein for a minute, but he did some dirty things. I call him gruesome. Gavin Newsom, who is a monster of epic proportions. Look at the amount of damage he did on purpose, and that son of a bitch still has his job. And when you look at his salary and you look how big his house is, you're like, okay, where'd the rest of that money come from? Because you're not making enough to afford all that. But he still has money. He still has whatever. And he can get away with anything. It doesn't matter how much property damage he's done. It doesn't matter if anyone lost their life. It doesn't matter who was injured from the fires. So the hell what? He will still be in his position. Now, if you or I were to pull the shit that he's pulled, oh baby, we'd be underneath the prison, never to see the light of day again. But money and power buys you an innocent verdict, if it even goes to court, which it usually doesn't. And you know what? You know what? Because I don't know, I don't know what it's called, but it's a form of political Stockholm syndrome. The worse somebody treats people, takes their rights away, you find out dirty shit about them behind the scenes. They deliberately broke you in your wallet. They deliberately caused the packaging to be way smaller and the price to be way higher. This shit's been going on for years by a certain individual who was in office before, and everybody pretends they don't know the dirt that he's done, because the more abuse he has committed on the American people, the more he has gained their respect. It's a form of political Stockholm syndrome. It is a form of trauma bonding. The crappier you are and the more dirty, sneaky things you've done, it buys you not everybody, it buys you a lot of people's loyalty and love. They love to be hungry. They love to go to the store where you can't find no groceries on the shelf. They love to have the package be so small you could stick it in your goddamn pocket while you pay double for it. People love this shit. They love being abused, whether they want to admit it or not. They love, 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 love being abused. If somebody would never do that to them, they have a long, endless list of things that are wrong with them. And they haven't done half of the things that the other one has done. People bond to evil. They connect to evil. They have loyalty to evil. Not everybody, thank God. Somebody has to have a brain, okay, and see past the nose on their face. But I've seen, even in situations where, like the Lake Berryessa thing in the 1960s, I think it was. This guy was stalking this couple in this park or this state forest or whatever the hell it's called, a state park. And he pulled a gun on them, tied them to the tree, stabbed both of them. She died, he did not. And don't you freaking know that while he's in the hospital, he is having empathy for the killer. This is natural for people. I'm not kidding. They bond to the person who hates them. They bond to the people who have no respect for you. They bond with a person who will kick them so hard in their face they lose all their teeth. They connect with that person. It will defend them to the end. A lot of people have this disease in their head. They see the abuse. They know, they've witnessed it every time they went to the goddamn store. They witnessed it every time they went to put gas in a car. They witnessed it every time they went to the store and there were very few groceries on the shelves. They witnessed our country allowing spying by someone else. Y'all know who it is. And being silent about it for a fucking week. That's called treason. But because he has prestige and power, he's a good guy. People love it. Their rights are being taken away every goddamn day. They're wanting to put a kill switch in your vehicle. Y'all heard me. Under the pretense of, well, it's to curb drunk driving. No, the freaking hell it's not. No, it's not. No, the hell it isn't. Your car will have software in it that if it even remotely thinks that you're intoxicated or you took your fingernail polish off and there's alcohol in the nail polish remover, or you responded quickly because a deer or a squirrel or whatever ran in the front of your car the software can assume that you are under the influence of something, and this it'll kill the power to your car. We are turning communistic, and you know what? People love it. The people who worship the left will always worship the left. There's nothing they could do that is wrong, no matter how horrific it is. And it is horrific. And all the dirt and the filth and the grit and the grime is coming out, and people will still be more loyal and more loyal and more loyal and more loyal. And no amount of logic hits their brain. No logic hits their brain. They can see evidence in front of their face and they'll say, no, that's not what that is. Eyes don't lie, people do. Eyes don't lie, people do. Empty shelves are empty shelves. It's not an optical illusion. And that son of a bitch lied, so what else is new? And blamed it on the truckers. It ain't had shit to do with the truckers. It had everything to do with they were not permitted to take the goods off of the pallets while people were being steadily lied to. And the more they get lied, tricked, deceived, bamboozled, the more they love them. They love the abuse. They want their rights being taken away. They can spin so far out of their mind, they'd probably offer up their first grandchild to be a victim of Epstein. Although he's supposedly dead, people think he's not dead. They think that it was all fake. His death was faked. That's a strong possibility. Who knows? But the more people get treated like shit, the more they admire the people who do that to them, which tells me that there's a whole lot more sick ass people in the world, not just Epstein people, but people in general are just sick and don't love themselves enough and don't have the desire to protect themselves like they should. So they will defend the person who's awful. And back to Berryessa, he was in the hospital, and you know what he said? First of all, he has no, and I said this before, he has no emotion about his girlfriend being dead. None. His voice did not crack. No tears. No face red with emotion. He's just laying in the bed recovering from his stab injuries, and he's as cool as a cucumber. And he said about the killer, well, you just never know what a person's going through. We need to have more understanding about what a person's going through. Are you freaking stupid or something? When I saw the two of them laying down in the park, I guess that's a reenactment or something. But he's laying on the ground and she's got her chin on his chest and just kind of laying there. It wasn't the body language, because couples lay like that all the time. But when I saw her laying on him like that, the first thing I thought was, she's a pot. This is a new term I came up with recently. Feel free to use it. She's a pot, P-O-T, a piece of tail. Probably because I noticed that he had no connection to her when she was laying, she had her chin on his chest. I think his lack of emotion about her doing that. He didn't caress her face. He didn't try to have eye contact with her. He didn't try to shift his body so that he's closer to her and he's able to look at her face. He just laid there like he was just bored to tears. And I thought, he ain't connected to her in no way, shape, or form. Well, that was emphasized when they interviewed him, not the actor with the reenactment, but they interviewed him in the hospital, and he wants to feel sorry for the killer. And this is another problem too, where this whole debacle that's going on right now, Americans being shit on in favor of people who haven't paid a goddamn dime in taxes, getting money off of our blood, sweat, and tears. And people are defending that too. Hey, stupid. When you go to another country, they're not going to do like a dumbass American government will do. They actually make you have paperwork. I wanted to move up to Canada myself years ago. If you back then, and it might be double now or it might be quadruple now, back then you had to have X amount of thousands and thousands of dollars so that they know you not coming up there to sponge off their government. You see, prime example of other countries are smarter than us. They don't just fling the door open and give people free food, free place to live, free cell phones, free every freaking thing. Only America does that stupid shit. Even though they claim to be getting rid of illegals now. Who knows if that's true, because we've been lied to so much. We've been told that raindrops are actually teeny little diamonds coming down. Okay, I'm kidding. But the lies are, and the gaslighting is so over the top. Anyways, so he did not love her. She was a pot. She was a piece of tail. He had no emotions about her being dead. And he defends the person who tried to kill him. What I tell you? Didn't I tell you his people have something seriously wrong with them? Didn't I tell you that? You're defending someone who's almost snuffed your ass out like a candle, and you have something nice to say about them. You just never know what someone's going through. I don't give a fucking damn what someone's going through. You don't kill people. You don't tie them to trees and stab them up. But when someone is easily twisted in their head, that's exactly what you do. You try to kill people, and that's how you become friends with them. The killer. You should become friends with them. Stupidest thing I ever heard. I mean, he had no emotions about his girlfriend. That's the first thing I noticed. She's a pot, so he doesn't have no connection to her. Okay? And he has no animosity towards the guy who tried to take him out and who did take his woman out. It's just mind-blowing how people are so forgiving of everything. And, there was a lady, let me think, what was I watching? Oh, was it the guy, the model? He said that, you know, men and boys are being trafficked too within this whole situation with this Epstein thing. And somebody said, a couple of people said, which goes to prove how stupid people really are, honestly. Oh, I think he's full of shit. That's usually said to women. Any woman who's ever been assaulted, any woman who's ever been drugged, roofied, just so that she could get gang, you know what? They're all liars. That never happened, because men are angels and they would never use their dick as a weapon, even though that's been happening ever since people were people. This isn't a new concept, okay? This isn't a new concept. It's been happening since people were people. But when you're dumb and you're naive and you're easily brainwashed, you have no connection with what the victim has gone through until it happens to you. Then you're going to be singing a completely different song, and your attitude will do a complete flip-de-doo, and all of a sudden you're like, oh shit. Nope, nope, don't get emotional. Don't get upset and emotional because you were victimized, because when it happened to other people you didn't care. You couldn't connect to this person's pain, so then you attack them. You can't connect, so you attack. Oh, I think they're lying. I think they're full of shit. And I got news for his stupid ass. I said, I hope you feel the same way when it happens to you. And then he will get to experience people who have no empathy for him. And I'm here to tell you, it is never as much fun on the receiving end. Never as much fun on the receiving end. Never. People are so damn dumb. If you want to cry after you took this person out, and I don't mean to lunch, you got to cry, you got to be hysterical, you got to go to therapy now. That's what you got to do. But if it's a thing between you and them, you got to do what you got to do. But anyway, back to what the asinine comment, oh, I think he's lying. Shut the hell up. Okay? Shut up. One of the famous clothing designers. I don't remember his name, but he's famous. He said to a guy model, he looked at this guy model like, "Hey, what's up?" And he's so famous that if he wants you to come to his house, you feel special. You feel like, "Oh, wow. He's paying attention to little old me? What the hell?" Hey, why don't you I could do wonders for your career. I could just let your career take off. Why don't we have a meeting? Meet me at my home this evening and we'll talk about it. So the male model agreed. And I'm sure he was tickled to death because he's thinking, this person's famous and wants to spend time with me and wants to increase my, uh, you know, uh, help my career get off the ground. Whoa, really? You're going to feel good about that until you find out what's really happening. He went to the guy's house. Everything was great until he said, he started coming on to him. Well, he doesn't roll like that. And when Mr. Famous got rejected, all of a sudden those promises, quotation marks, promises of getting your career off the ground, all you're going to hear now is crickets because you didn't give this person what they wanted. Even if, and we're going to go there, even if you gave this person what they wanted, that ain't no promise that you're going to get your career off the ground. There's no promise of that. Males get targeted by other males in the modeling industry too. And I remember one model said, a male model said, he did a documentary and he said, so, they pose your body the way they want you to pose and, or they'll tell you. They'll either do it physically or they'll tell you, you know. And he said, and so I'm standing here. I think he was modeling underwear. And the photographer, out of nowhere, grabbed his junk. Okay? But that didn't really happen. He's lying because men never do anything like that. Shut up. There's a famous actor, can't think of his name. He's chocolate, his wife is white, he's famous. He was at a Hollywood party and he was violated a couple of times by a guy who is also famous in Hollywood. And he was losing his mind. And his wife had to pull him away from that guy. And he's wanting to beat the holy shit out of that guy. And his wife was like, we're not going to do, look here, we're going to go ahead and leave. I'm sure she had to tell him a couple times, I need you to breathe and I'm going to need you to calm down. I'll kick his ass. No, you're not, because your career will be over. She got him the hell up out of there, which is smart. Got him in a car, got him out of there. He does have a lawsuit against that guy, if I'm not mistaken. And then on their way back to their home, he lost his mind again and said, I should go back there and kick his ass. No, you shouldn't. No, you should. Babe, no. Do this the right way. If you're going to do it the right way. Do not destroy your career by doing this. Don't. I mean, the world has turned into like Sodom and Gomorrah, really. Literally every day, the dirt is getting, the dirt pit is getting deeper and deeper and deeper with all the filth that has been going on right under our noses and we had no idea. I promise you, there will be twisted individuals who enjoy bonding with the wrong people. They're broken in their brain and they don't have any good judgment. I guarantee you there's a lot of people that will blame the victims, even though they were children, even though their parents were lied to, even though they were kidnapped. Somebody will diminish the crime and attack the victim. What were you doing over there? Well, the person was drugged or they were lied to. And these famous people are requesting your presence for this celebrity, whatever. And you feel like, wow, they want me there? This is an opportunity of a lifetime. And then you find out that everything you were told was a lie. And you're a child, you're a minor, you're a freaking minor. You don't know anything about being essayed, much less, you don't know much about that. You just know if it happens to you, you feel weird as hell because this, you know, somewhere in your mind, this isn't normal. You can't blame victims because if it happens to you, you're going to be singing a different song. All of a sudden, you're going to flip everything. And you're not going to receive any compassion from people that you would want the compassion from because you did not care when it happened to other people and you had excuses why violating people is okay. It's not that big a deal. And when the tables flip, oh, baby, you're going to wish to God you never said those ignorant statements. And you'll get your feelings hurt real bad when somebody says what you used to say before you got violated. Oh, I don't think you're telling the truth. I think you're full of shit. You're going to lose it. You're going to get infuriated. It's never as much fun on the receiving end. Stop bonding with demons. Stop bonding with polysnakes who have no respect for you. Or you've got a company that you love, you've always been a customer, you find out they've done some dirty, dirty, underhanded filth. The best way to hurt them is in their money. Unfortunately, some of them are so financially well off that even if they lose a ton of customers, it's not going to phase their wallet. But it would be nice if it did. But and plus they overcharge on their, these snooty stores. The markup on their products are so high that if they lose a bunch of customers, it's not going to phase them anyway because they've been bent. Every customer has been bent over because they paid $85 for a T-shirt, for God's sake. So losing people's not going to hurt them. They'll be like, okay, bye, see ya. But people are not. I could be wrong, but I don't think they're going to boycott these companies because they're involved with this filth. I could be wrong. I don't know. I don't know. But we got to hold on to God. We got to hold on to Daddy's hand and have him be by our side because, oh my God, the world is just a dark, dark, dark place. And the only place where we have peace is within God. Stay observant. Watch around you. Some girls are being trafficked easily because women are approaching them, and if you're a girl or a young woman, you're more likely to trust a woman. Don't trust her. Don't trust her. There was a lady in New York And this lady's walking up there dressed nicely, super friendly. I don't like people who are super friendly. Over the top. Hey, how are you? I can't stand that shit. Why are you so freaking happy? That ain't normal. You're just like over the top, and I instantly don't trust somebody who does that. There are some people who are bubbly, that's just their personality. But then there's people that are so over the top, they're trying to force you to trust them. That shit doesn't work with me. I trust you even less now, despite the phony smile on your face. But anyway, this lady was walking, and a lady approached her in New York and had a, what do you call this? Clipboard, right? Oh my God, you're so beautiful. Have you ever modeled before? We're such and such a company, and we're having a meeting for future models, and I'd love for you to show up there, and this and that and the other. And so what do? You're probably going to fill out, you know, these forms that they want you to fill out. Maybe, I don't know how that works, but if you do fill those forms out, now they've got all your personal business. They know where you live, they know where your family lives, and you don't know what their goal is, regardless. So then she tells this young lady, clipboard tells this young lady, we've got this meeting. It's just around the corner from here. Hell no. She said, I looked at where she wanted me to walk to, and there's almost like a area that you have to walk in there in between or something. Like that part is either recessed, it's not open to the public. Like you would have to go. No, oh no, 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 that's not gonna happen. And her instinct told her, uh-uh, no, no. And a lot of times those women that you trust are working in cahoots with a guy who is making sure that clipboard is trying to recruit as many people as possible. So he could be across the street or down the street or whatever, or sitting in a car watching. He's watching her to make sure she does what she's supposed to do. So, no, women cannot always be trusted. They're too friendly. Like one lady, and it was on a criminal documentary. She was super friendly. Oh my God, your baby is so beautiful. Your baby should be on commercials and this and that. And can you fill out this information? I would love for your baby to be in this baby contest, and I know your baby would win. And on and on and on and on. Fill out this information, and we'll send a photography crew out to take pictures tomorrow, professional pictures at your home, if that's okay with you. And naturally, if you aren't careful, you're like, oh yeah, that sounds great. Well, then not long after that, that woman stole her baby. I do believe she got her baby back, but I mean, you kind of put yourself in a situation where you trusted somebody who should never have been trusted. Never. And now, let's keep it real. Now, since all these companies are well known and respect automatically comes with that name, well, not so much anymore because they're connected to this dirt. So even though it could be a famous modeling company, where they're recruiting models and helping you get your career and your portfolio and everything else, they're connected to some dirty, underhanded, illegal activity. So we're at the point now where just because that famous company's name was dropped, that don't mean a hill of beans because they could be affiliated with the dirt. So anybody who can be violated will be. Your gender and your age is irrelevant. That's despicable. We got to pray, and we got to pray, and we got to pray. We got to pray. This is too much. It really is. It's too much. But anyway, God bless us all. God's going to be by our side. And that's the way it's going to be. Most definitely. Love you guys. Bye.